Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Well, we've got the information for you right here. And Dave's going to tell you about it.
Absolutely, guys. We use this awesome application called Anchor FM. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free.
And who doesn't like free?
Yeah, free's huge. That's what got us involved with it. Second of all, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. So you don't need all those fancy gadgets. You can have them if you want them, but not absolutely necessary.
Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many other platforms.
Which is great. More people can hear us.
Who doesn't want more people to hear us?
I mean, I like to be heard.
I like to talk.
Another great thing is you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like 0 people could listen to you and you could still possibly make some money.
That's amazing.
How does that even happen? It's everything you need right here to make a podcast in one place.
It's a one-stop shop and it's all you need. Anchor FM.
Yeah, so you guys, if you want to start this podcast, go to anchorfm.com to get started. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Apogee Fitness Podcast, coming to you from the Apogee Therapy Center recording studio. My name is David Carter.
And I'm Kevin Harrington.
Kevin, I feel like it's been many days since the last time I saw you.
It's been many a day.
In fact, I think this is the longest we've probably gone without seeing each other since we kindled that fire many moons ago.
I think it's probably been about a month. Yeah, you're probably right.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
But
I think the last thing we did together was Fit Us to the Upstate.
Yeah. But those late night texts kept the fire burning.
Yes.
While I was on vacation and then you were on vacation. How was your vacation?
My vacation was good. I caught 3 sharks.
3 sharks.
Two times.
Is that a true story? Was it on video? You got
pictures of it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Then it happened.
Then I shot the Mac for True Form.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Was that before or after Fittest? That was
No,
yeah, that's right.
that was right after, yeah.
We really haven't seen each
Yeah.
other in a while.
It's been that long.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I was on vacation. You were on vacation. We were supposed to do a podcast with Colin Medlock from Lean Kitchen, but that had to get postponed because you had a late night delivery, right?
Yep.
And then Colin actually ended up having emergency dental surgery that day. So
That's
he
crazy.
couldn't talk anyways. But we got him rescheduled, and he'll be coming on soon.
Sweet.
But anyways, let's get to today. So today we have One More Athletics. They're out of Panama City Beach, Florida. I actually got introduced to them at the Crash Crescendo event, I guess right before Fittest of the Upstate. So we had our podcast there. We did a little live event. And it's funny because when I pulled up to the event, I think it was the second day. I got there a little later, and I was parking in the volunteer parking lot. And I pulled in, and there was this massive truck with a trailer. It was empty, and I was like, all right, well, this is a good spot. They're obviously not going anywhere. So no later than probably 5 minutes after I park and get my stuff set up for the podcast, JR cuts the music and says, "The person who owns the gray Toyota Tundra needs to move their vehicle now. License plate, blah, 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 blah." In front of everybody, and I just sheepishly walk up and say, "Sorry, man, that's me." I'll go ahead and move it. And I think Dave here kind of felt bad for me, so he came up shortly afterwards and introduced himself, and that's how we got to know each other. So,
Nice.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have them on. Let's bring them on. We've got David and Vince. What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy? Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, late night Thursdays are always fun.
So right away, is this your first podcast?
Yes, this is our first rodeo.
Just
There it
popping it
is.
so much,
It
the
is.
past couple episodes. It's good though. It's good.
good.
It's good to get
It's
on.
good to break them in.
Get on the waves here,
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourselves. Let's do David first, since I've talked to you a little bit before. Tell us a little bit about who you are, your upbringing, where you're from. Was sports always a thing for you? Was fitness always a thing for you? Tell us all the goods.
All right. Well, I'm originally from California. So I moved to Orlando and finished out high school there. And then I joined the Navy in 2000. And then I recently retired last year. So almost a year retired now.
Great.
So,
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for your sacrifice. I'd say that.
But yeah, fitness obviously in my job is, something you had to have every day because you never knew what was going to happen. So we were always doing something.
What was your job in the Navy?
I wrote it. I was an enlisted air crewman. So
Okay.
Jump out of helicopters, shoot some guns at helicopters, land in some tight areas. A lot of good stuff.
Wow. And how often were you overseas?
Probably deployed 10 times or so
Wow.
in 20 years.
Wow.
At least.
Wow. That's awesome.
Lost track of a couple of them.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. So yeah, while you were in the Navy, that's where you found CrossFit?
Yep. In 2012, I had a buddy of mine introduce me to it, and then I've kind of been doing it ever since.
Okay, cool. Was sports kind of a part of your life growing up?
It was. I played baseball pretty much from 8 years old till I graduated high school. I didn't think I was too good or good enough to go any further, so I was like, oh, well, I'll just end it here and then join the military.
So was college ever an option for you, or did you always know you were going into the military?
I didn't really try that hard in high school to go to college right afterwards. But while I was in, I did get a degree, so I kind of chipped away at that over 15 years or so.
All right, yeah, man. They call those what? Neuro medical doctors.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Medical brain
I'm not a
surgeons.
doctor.
Nice.
All right, man. So Vince, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Florida. The latter part of my high school years, my mother remarried a guy in Auburn, Alabama, so I spent time there. I played pretty much every sport growing up. I finally narrowed down to weightlifting and football the last few years. Went to college for about a year, decided that was wasting people's money and my time. And my parents were like, all right, great, you're going to have to go get a job somewhere. And my dad was like, you know what, I'll show him. Why don't you go get a job at the prison? So I did that for about a year, and that job blew something awful.
I'm sure.
I could not imagine.
I'm sure you've got some crazy stories over there.
So I was digging for something new to do and stumbled in, and I'm a detective or investigator for the sheriff's office. That's what I do by trade. So he's the veteran, and I'm the first responder. So
Nice.
we've always kind of shared in that, between me and him. But anyways, yes, I've been in law enforcement now for 11, 12 years. I found CrossFit actually getting ready for a SWAT competition. I was like, how can I better myself? So started doing CrossFit because some of the other guys were talking about it, and still doing it today.
All right, tell me a little bit about what a SWAT competition is.
It's a lot of shooting and running and athletic. It's kind of like a CrossFit competition, just throwing guns.
And you're competing against other units or other
It's
other
like other
towns?
SWAT teams. Yeah, it's a big thing. Like in Orlando, they have what they call the SWAT Roundup. They come from all around the world. It's a very prestigious thing if you can win. But it's very much a athletic competition and a shooting competition just blended together.
You'd actually be
But
surprised how
tactics
many
and things like
CrossFit
that.
athletes actually are involved in that. I know of one athlete that she won the crescendo, or she won one. She placed, and she does it. She works out at Training Think Tank.
Okay,
But yeah.
that's awesome.
So let me ask you guys a question real quick. This just kind of hits both of you. I heard it on the way in today. So have you heard that the Air Force is lowering their physical fitness tests to join up? Have you heard that? Instead of running 1.5 miles, they're going to let them walk. Instead of doing push-ups, they can do planks or shoulder taps. And then I think sit-ups, they can hold a plank or something. I don't know. But I don't know if you guys heard that yet, though.
I know they normally run 2 miles, so now I guess they get to walk. I mean, it's always been a running joke that they were, it was a little easier for their fitness test than others. But the plank is something coming around. It's really a better core workout anyway than sit-ups.
I agree.
A lot of hip flexors get destroyed in sit-ups versus your core, so they're trying to get away from that and actually make it to where people have to work at it a little bit. So.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So how did you guys get connected then?
Through CrossFit, funny enough, we just started going to the same gym, and our personalities click. We're different, but for whatever reason, it's kind of yin and yang. One of us is a little bit more reserved, one of us is a little bit more outgoing, one of us is a little bit more organized, one of us is a little bit better communicator. So it just works well.
All right, and how long ago was that?
What, 5 years ago?
Yeah, because I was stationed here in Panama City from 14 to 17, so probably
Yeah, it was around
late
15,
14, early
yeah,
15.
somewhere in there.
Oh, look at see, they're even finishing each other's sentences.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a running joke. We share everything but women. So that's kind of our
That's a strong bromance right there. So,
Don't
are
be
y'all
jealous.
married? You guys have kids?
David is married. I am divorced, but we both have kids.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about One More Athletics. So, how did you guys come up with the idea of One More Athletics? Or actually, before that, talk to us a little bit about what One More Athletics is, and then we'll go from there. And how it's involved in the CrossFit space.
Yeah, so our main thing is we travel around and set up fitness competitions. So local gyms or small gyms don't have enough equipment, enough space, and they want to be outdoors. So they'll talk to us, we'll get them what they need, we'll communicate a little bit, kind of help them out on, especially if they're first time event. I just put on the event for the first time, try to help them out, and then we'll go up there and set everything up for them, and then tear it down at the end of the weekend.
So when you guys, all right, so then let's get into, did you guys think up of this idea, or did you guys buy into this business?
So we bought into it. The original owner was Gary Weavers, and I had met him a few years back, and he never indicated that he wanted to sell, but he kind of felt like he had taken it as far as he could. And he approached me and another guy. I had an ex-business partner in the beginning. And I just had an idea of what it could be. And so that idea began to mature, and got a business plan together and got an investor. And when we pushed forward and pushed One More up into the next level of what we thought it could be.
So what level was it at when Gary had it? What was he doing?
So Gary had a real good connection with some of the smaller shows, and he did things. Gary's a very old school guy. Like, it was funny. He kept all invoices handwritten. It was just kind of like things like that. And so I felt like I could get us into the digital space and be able to attack things. And we do competitions now as big as 1,600 athletes. We've been prior to COVID happening. We're starting to get games athletes were calling us. Like Cassie Lance called us. We had sold, and that's another part of our business. We sell gym equipment. That's kind of where it started. And then we evolved into this competition space where we build the rigs. Like David said, we bring the kettlebells, the boxes, the dumbbells, the bars, the bumpers. We bring it all, and we kind of make it where it's all. And we're in this niche because other companies will send you stuff, but they won't go out and build it for you. So that's kind of where we are different, and we try to provide a different service. But yeah, we had people, like pre-COVID, and Cassie Lance is just one of them. Her competition was really big in Orlando. We just got contacted by another gym in Orlando. They're going to do something at Universal.
Oh,
so
awesome.
we're going to get to be a part of that.
Yeah, just so our listeners knows, if you've ever been to the Freedom Games in Lexington when they did them, that was their rig. If you've ever been down to Georgia and Statesboro, they did the something for the South. I can't remember what gym was. That was them. If you've ever done Beer City Beatdown in Asheville, that's them.
Yeah.
Beach Town Throwdown.
Yeah,
Beachtown Throwdown in Myrtle Beach. We were just there.
And then
Beach
obviously,
Yep.
and they did Crucible and Crescendo here locally. So that's awesome. So when you guys got together and kind of created this new business plan, what was kind of like, was it tough to kind of find that first client that said, yes, we really want you guys to come out, build our rigs, bring our equipment? Was it kind of like a back and forth thing, or were people pretty excited about this right from the get-go?
It's really sold itself. I mean, really, like I was saying before, and David can abound on this, but most of the time once we talk to somebody over the phone and present them what we do, we just get yeses. I mean, very rarely do people not want to do business with us, and very rarely, because it just is an easy thing as a promoter for a show. Not only are you worrying about T-shirts, getting your volunteers there, getting everybody paid, getting teams done, workouts put in, all these different things, but now you got us. We just show up and we take care of all the stressor of getting the competition up, and then all you have to do is just show up and do your thing, and then it kind of runs itself at that point.
How many competitions can you comfortably run over a weekend?
So we could only, right now at our current size, we can only do one a weekend.
Okay.
What we would like to do, and we were really on track for that too pre-COVID, was 2 a month. We really almost were there. We were right on the cusp of it. So 2 a month does well for us because we still have, well, he's retired now, but I still have a full-time job. So until we get to where, obviously we could do that, then it would, it may even have to mean a change of future for me, because at that point, one more is kind of needing more and more attention, and the potential there is very great.
Right.
The 2 a month kind of help us because generally not every competition wants the same stuff, or they may want a different size rig or whatnot. So it gives us time to come back, put everything back together for the next competition. If it's changing out rope climbs to not have rope climbs, or adding more weight or taking weight off, or whatever the customer needs, it gives us a little bit of time to come home, do that, and then roll out for the next show. So
That's awesome. You got the rig you guys have is huge. I mean, I've seen it done a couple of different ways, but it's quality. It really is.
So, how often are you guys swapping out like stuff? What you're bringing to a competition, are you using that all summer long, or are you guys buying and selling constantly and bringing new stuff to competitions, or?
So we generally try to let it run for about a season, and then we begin to cycle stuff out. Obviously we want to keep it looking good, but it is gym equipment for the most part, and it does, I guess you could say, weather a little bit, but for the most part, we do a good job of keeping the stuff looking good. But yeah, and as you said, we sell equipment, and sometimes we sell used equipment when that is available. But for the most part, we try to run with stuff for a season or a year, and then we begin to cycle it out.
All right, cool. So what's the farthest you guys have traveled as far as, hosting or not hosting, but bringing equipment to a competition?
Fayetteville, North Carolina right now, because before we had the big truck and trailer, we used to have this big box truck, and it was the most miserable drive on the planet. I got off at 5 o'clock, jumped in that truck. I mean, shoot, I probably violated 900 DOT laws, but we drove straight to Fayetteville, North Carolina, built that rig, and then finally went to sleep.
Oh, no. So it's like one of those little two-seaters?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not comfortable in any way. It's just this big old box truck. You can't go over 70 miles an hour, so every time you stop that clock, you never make back the time.
Yeah.
So you're just...
That's sweet. So you guys got to spend a lot of quality time together in very close proximities.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure y'all shared a hotel room together. It's like,
all the time.
How can you not have a better bromance than that?
Don't be jealous of it.
All right.
So, what is your favorite memory so far, leading up to now, as being the new owners of One More Athletic?
We have 2 separate ones. I'm gonna let David go first.
All right.
Well, I guess the most recent one was we were in Huntsville, and we had some logistics errors on our part, so it was a lot of time on the road, and then building it, getting done later than we wanted, but it was ready for the competition, so that was the most important part. So we didn't get to partake in some of the festivities that they had there in the area, but we made the customer happy and rolled on with that.
So how did that work? You said logistically you guys made an error, so maybe you didn't have enough equipment and you had to come up with some equipment, or
we can we'll divulge to you because it's a learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
We left a pole, so we were 1 lane short on the rig. So I was here, so we had to jump in the truck and meet each other halfway. But that's just the kind of thing we do. I mean, if it's our mess up, we're going to fix it. We're going to do everything we can to make sure your show goes smoothly. Now, on the back end, me and him are stressing out trying to get this done. But we were like, so we drove in the middle of the night just to get this other pole so we get this last lane up.
Oh,
but
my
literally
goodness.
It took a minute to put it in.
It was we had the numbers were right?
Mm-hmm.
Count them. 24 poles or whatever the number was, but the length of one of the poles was not long enough. So we had to get a longer pole.
Wow.
So it was awesome.
So now we triple count. So that way we don't do that anymore.
See, you guys need to be running together. See, I feel like you guys work better as a pair. You can't separate.
Yeah, but if they had not been separated, he couldn't have ran the pole
Yeah,
over
but
to
maybe
him.
he would have remembered the pole. I don't know.
Ah,
I don't know. I just like their chemistry. All right, Vince, let's hear yours.
The other memory that was really great, we were in Pensacola Beach Ball. This was probably the biggest show we had ever done, the most money we'd ever made in a day. It was a massive success for us. And they actually finished like 5 minutes early, and that never happened. So I was like, this is the greatest day ever. And we have like 245s to get rounded up, but everybody's moving. Our workers are going good. It's all smooth. All of a sudden, the world's blackest cloud comes rolling in. And I was like, oh no. So we're out here on this rig. It is thundering and lightning, and it's just torrentially raining. And look back now, I'm like, I was a moron. I was out here taking this thing down in the middle of this lightning storm. Like, it's in the middle of a parking lot. It's me and the poles.
Oh, no.
No rubber to ground nothing.
So we're out there. Like, back in the day, like, it was like, man, that was really scary and stupid. Now looking back, it's kind of funny because it's like, hey, we're still here. We got this stuff down and, still kicking.
You defeated the lightning.
Yeah.
All right.
So
it sounds like you guys have quite a bit of equipment. Where do you all store it? Do one of you guys have like a huge barn that you guys keep this in, or how does that work?
We have a warehouse. We actually have two of them because we've grown. So now we had to buy or rent another warehouse space. So we keep a warehouse in Panama City.
So have you ever thought about looking into making your own equipment?
Yes.
You do not know the hurdles that comes involved with that.
I know that most of the bumper plates that are coming out of America, though, are made in Alabama, though, if I'm not correct, right?
They are. And during COVID, a company, the big company, paid them not to give anything to anybody else. So,
wow.
Yeah, and that happened too. We've constantly tried to get outside of getting stuff shipped in from overseas. It's still just what our business model is.
Right.
But like we reached out to a kettlebell company in Michigan, and it was the same story. Hey, we've been paid, and obviously we can't divulge some of this stuff, but we've been paid X amount of dollars not to sell you guys anything, to only sell to this company. So, and that same thing happened with a dumbbell company in Texas. We reached out to them. Hey guys, we'd love to get on. We do pretty substantial size orders, 300 or 400 at a time. They're like, hey, we're kind of in this contract, and we can't sell you any right now.
So how difficult was it setting up overseas exports, import, all that stuff?
Well, we didn't really have to do it in the beginning, but we've since changed companies to make everything get to us a little more smooth, or run a little more smooth, and that was kind of a pain, just kind of switching agents.
Yeah, we switched customs agents, and it's way better now because our customs agent has a direct relationship with our shipping company, and so it's a lot easier on us now. It was a lot of phone calls, and like we were having to kind of juggle it to get it here, but now we've got it all centralized. So we just call the guy, and he sets it up for us, and we don't have to do anything, and that is worth its weight in gold.
How did you go about finding an agent like that to basically work for y'all? Or is that
so? Once you get in, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh no, go for it.
I was saying, once you kind of get in that space, like I said, Gary kind of already established one, but like I said, we just weren't very happy with their service. Mm-hmm. And it's this custom agency. You can Google them, honestly. But we had gotten really good information because we had changed the guy shipping it to us, to our warehouse. His name's Steve. And Steve said, look, Galaxy, that's who we switched to. He was like, that's a great company. We work hand in hand with them. If you go to them, it'll make this a lot easier on you guys. You guys want to sit here and try to juggle all these logistics of having this truck go here, that truck go here, this boat here, that boat there, and they'll do it all for you. Just as a one deal package. So we switched, and it has been better.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's a lot more detail than I probably even thought you guys had to go into.
Yeah,
I'm still shocked that you guys are kind of put on the outs. Like, please don't sell to these guys. But
yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna keep trying. I've probably talked to 7 different stateside manufacturers, and I'm just gonna keep asking.
Yeah,
that's all we can do.
Being the little guy, we don't have enough. We don't have a whole lot of backing financially to push out anybody. So
right,
we're making the best of it.
All right, cool. That's awesome. So what's going on with you guys the rest of the summer? Where are you guys going?
August.
We go to Clarksville next. Clarksville, Tennessee. That's coming up in August. They have a competition up there with it's CrossFit Over the Box or Top of the Box?
Top of the Box.
So Top of the Box CrossFit. We actually just did a 3-year deal with them, so we're going to be doing their comp for the next 3 years.
Congratulations.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, so we'll be in Clarksville the following month. We are in Pensacola for the Beach Brawl, and it's back on full on. It's actually got a new promoter now. They just changed hands. So that'll be interesting. First year working with this guy, but he seems really good. really cool. And then right after that, what did we do the next thing?
September, October,
Huntsville's in October.
Black and Brood.
We're in negotiations with a guy in Mobile. He wants to do a 5K CrossFit competition, so we're working on that right now. That's something new for us, but he wants to run a 5K through Battleship Park, which is it's a big park in Mobile, and they actually have a battleship there. The USS Alabama is there, but they're wanting to do like you run so far, you do so many thrusters, you run so far, you do so many pull-ups on the rig, you run so far. So we're making that work with that guy now.
Wow, that does
Kind of
not-
like hashing but without the beer.
that does not sound
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my competition. I'm not signing up for that one.
They know what hashing is. Do you know what hashing is?
Hashing.
Yeah, it's like you run a 5K with beer.
Oh, okay.
Every mile you drink, you chug a pint of beer, and you
Well,
run the next mile, you chug another pint of beer.
that might give me a little bit of motivation.
There you go.
I don't know. So tell me a little bit about how you guys like split responsibilities in reference to the business. So like Dave, what exactly do you do for the business? Vince, what's your role, and do you guys ever butt heads with these roles?
I would say every once in a while, our paths don't cross as smooth as they should. But he generally will get a lot of the phone calls. I think because his number's probably listed first, on our stuff, which is fine. I kind of can handle more of the emails and social media stuff.
Mhm.
Instagram, not so much on Facebook right now, but definitely more on Instagram than anything else. So anything that's posted there or anything, that's usually me doing that. But whatever's going on, if I need some help, I just kick it to him, and he'll kick it to me if just to help each other out, because he's definitely a little more busy than I am, especially during the week.
Sure.
I'm a little more busy on most weekends right now, but other than that,
So sticking with Instagram, I was scrolling through your Instagram today, actually looking at it, and you post a lot of these workouts. Are these daily workouts that you guys do every day, or are these things that you're just, what's up with that?
Yeah. So our local gym here on the beach, Emerald Coast CrossFit, that's where we both go. That's kind of where I started doing CrossFit when I moved to this area. I'll take the workouts because I coach there also, so
Okay.
I'll do that. I coach 2 classes a day, just about every day. So I just take the workouts that is programmed for that day or for the week and whatnot, and post them on for everyone's enjoyment.
Nice.
But yes,
Awesome.
we do them every day.
Hey guys, we're going to take a break to thank our sponsors for today's episode. We're going to start off with CrossFit Greer. If you're living in the Greer area and are interested in getting started in CrossFit, go ahead and look up CrossFit Greer. Jen and Reagan Green are the owners there. If you mention the Apogee podcast to them, they will give you 10% off your first month's membership fees.
I would also like to thank Blitz Belts and Chris Kane for their continued support of the show. So be sure to use their 15% off coupon code at checkout. That's Apogee, all caps. That gets you, the listener, 15% off at checkout at Blitz Belts on your custom order. I want to thank GoTape for being our new sponsor. GoTape has committed its brand to providing the best in athletic tape. They are the standard for CrossFit tape, scary sticky. Now they are providing the best in KT tape. So at checkout, be sure to get your 25% off your wholesale purchase. Use the coupon code APOGEE at checkout.
Finally, if you guys would like to become an invested friend of the show and are interested in supporting the show directly, go to anchor.fm/Apogee Podcast and click on the support tab. We love bringing you guys awesome content each week, so be sure to subscribe to the podcast, drop a review, and let us know how we're doing. All right, I want to talk a little bit more about CrossFit and just like your guys' journey through CrossFit. So, Dave, what was the first CrossFit gym you walked into, and was it like were you doing it on base, or did you actually go to a CrossFit gym, and was it kind of nerve-wracking walking in for you the first time?
It was. I actually started in a gym, so the buddy that introduced me to it, I think it was CrossFit 757 or 757. It was in Norfolk, Virginia.
Uh-huh.
So that was the first time I went and did CrossFit, and it was nerve-wracking, especially trying to learn some of the movements. I did the traditional, bro lifting at normal gyms, and then walk into that environment. It was a little crazy at first, but now I want to go back.
Do you remember what your first workout was?
I do not. I remember the first time trying to learn how to snatch. That was interesting.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, if you're doing a lot of bro reps on that bench press, I'm sure it was hard to open up that
Right,
chest
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Catch that snatch.
Vince, what was your first experience
Yeah.
with it?
So yeah, I walked in and they had a warm up workout and I took it on and I had done a lot of Olympic lifting, so the snatches and power cleans and hang cleans weren't as foreign to me. But it definitely smoked me really good. I was like, okay, I could get into this though. I'm like, because I'm always kind of been a person that I enjoy high intensity stuff. So it's when I found it, I was like, man, I've just found something I'm going to get addicted to. And that was pretty much it. It took off. I think when I started CrossFit, I weighed like 230 pounds. I was kind of a bigger dude. I always enjoyed being the big, strong guy. I'm like 185 now.
I was gonna say
So-
you don't look that big.
No.
Enjoy being lean and mean. So, but no, I just fell in love with it, to be honest. Once I started, it was no looking back. I love the heat of it, the struggle, the sweat, the little bit of that antsiness. I think everybody gets it right before a workout starts. You know, you're
Yeah.
like, you're ready to get it. You're tired of waiting. Like, start that clock so we can get this thing done.
Do you remember what your first workout was?
So the actual first real workout I ever did was like it was like this modified version of the Fran workout. It was just a heavier version of it, and I remember that being rather gnarly. So
All right,
That's
Vince.
awesome.
How tall are you, Vince?
I'm right at 5'11".
So you were 230 pounds, 5'11". So you were you that huge? Were you that muscular, or were you overweight and you lost all that weight?
Oh, I definitely had some body weight in there for sure. I mean, I was a strong guy. I mean, you know, I had good lifts, good heavy lifts. You know, squatting over 400, bench pressing over 300, deadlifting in the 500. You know, the
Sure,
normal.
Yeah.
But I like the more leaner me. That's for sure.
So how long was that a goal then? When you walked into that gym, you were like, I'm gonna trim down, I'm gonna lose some weight. CrossFit's gonna be my vehicle towards that, or did you kind of walk in saying like, this is cool and we'll just kind of see what happens? Were you on like a weight loss journey?
No, I wasn't necessarily on a weight loss journey, but like I just realized like I wanted to, I guess, look a certain way at some point and wanted to feel healthy in a certain way. And not that I wasn't healthy before, because my cardiovascular, you know, you see big dad bods all the time in CrossFit, and those guys can go just as hard as guys with abs.
Yep.
So it did. I wanted to bring the weight down, but I wouldn't say it started off as a journey. Like when I first got going with CrossFit, it was just simply learning it and enjoying the addiction of it. And then I was like, okay, let me see how it can actually affect my body, and then, you know, begin to lose weight, and now I'm the person you see before you.
So how long did it take you to go from 230 to 185?
When I actually decided to start cutting the weight, a year, because I wanted to do it healthy, you know, a healthy cut.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I started slowly, and it's like a running thing around my gym about my abs or something. It's David's on the program right now trying to get them to.
Yeah.
Of
So-
course he is. So did this year of weight loss happen when Dave was at the gym?
Yeah. No, he was there. Yeah, he got to witness it firsthand.
Got you. So Dave walks in the gym and he was your inspiration, and you're like, I want to be like Dave, and now Dave wants to be like Vince.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then we combine together and make a mega person.
All right.
they're-
So
His name is DeVince.
have you guys ever partnered up and done a competition together?
Funny enough, no. Now we've done partner workouts together all the time, but we've never actually. That's something we want to do, is tackle a comp together.
Have you guys
So-
ever thought about, like, you know, when you're bringing the equipment to one of these competitions, if you have, I don't know, it's some sort of, I guess when you guys get bigger and maybe you have a manager who's managing a lot of this, you guys jump in and compete too and have like a One More Athletics team?
Oh no, we would be all about it.
So I'm actually competing at Beach Brawl this year on Sunday with a couple other guys from the gym.
Okay.
So that'll be my first. Set it up on Thursday or Friday, compete on Sunday, and then have to tear it down after 5 workouts. So it'll be
Jeez.
Oh,
it'll be
dude.
interesting.
Your wife's going to love you the next week.
Yeah.
You're going to be so tired.
He's going to get an extra workout.
How old are your kids?
14, 9, 9, 4, and 2.
Oh, man. You're going to be
How
no,
many
you're
kids
gonna
do
be
you
no
have?
help.
He's
Dude,
got
Dave.
5.
Wow.
Dude, you're busy.
Not anymore.
I've got 2.
Yeah. You got that snipped, huh?
Yeah.
Good
Don't
man.
need any anymore.
Good man. Man, that's crazy. So does your 14-year-old ever come along with you to help like run the business and set up equipment and stuff, or?
No,
Okay.
she was actually doing CrossFit for a little while. Kind of, she's a teenager. Now
Uh-huh.
she's starting high school next year, so she was like, I don't want to do anything you guys want me to do. So I'm gonna do my own thing.
Sure.
But if you go through the social media and you see Mighty Mites, I think 2 years ago
Uh-huh.
2 years ago and 3 years ago at Beach Brawl. She was one of the Mighty Mites. They didn't have a teen or a kid division, so we had these three, teenagers or 12, or at that time probably like 11, 12-year-olds competing in scaled women's,
Oh, wow.
and they didn't come in last.
Great.
So
That's awesome. So this is a question I like to ask people frequently, especially when they're entrepreneurs or they own a business. Me and Kevin both we own separate businesses, and running something takes a lot of work. I mean, people see a lot of things like at the competition, they see like the end result of the rig being set up, but they don't really see all the behind the scenes things like dealing with agents who have to deal with things overseas, or like actually driving to the event, setting things up, just everything that goes into running a business. How has that played into your relationship with like your families? Is it something that's brought you guys closer together? Has it was it a strain on your relationship with your wives at first, or how did that all work out?
Well, I guess in my case, I'm the negative result of it, and he's probably the positive result. I had a divorce, but it's not. I wouldn't say it was because of one more. It was just things didn't work out. Sometimes it's just life. But no, I think my family is. They've seen me work through it and stuff. They've always been astonished at seeing it happen. And they've always been very supportive. I mean, yeah, you are gone some weekends, and it takes away. I mean, I can't tell how many times we're at the warehouse Thursday night, getting ready for a comp. We're there till 10, 11 o'clock at night after we've worked 8-hour days. So that's the thing I would say that people don't see is it's not given. You got to get it. It's not a given thing. You got to go after it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Dave?
Yeah. So not really. I mean, when I was gone my last 3 years, the wife was here, so she's kind of, she dealt with the 5 kids and everything while I was here maybe a couple weeks out of a whole year. So, but she understands. There'll be some nights where she might, not want me gone too late, but she understands that, we got things to do. But she'll come watch sometimes too. Well, she's competed at some that we've set up as well. So, she'll kind of come for those weekends, but the far out ones, she has not come with us yet. It's hard to find a babysitter for 5 kids.
Yeah, no kidding, man. 5 kids.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
So what brings you the most satisfaction with One More Athletics?
Well, there's 2 sides of the coin. The competition side is always neat because you get to see people's at their highest highs and their lowest lows. I mean, we've seen games that were separated by seconds, and to see the elation out of one team that just won $10,000 and the disappointment of the other team. And even though they did win $5,000 for second place, it was more about the pride, not the money.
Right.
But, it's that those moments are neat to see, to just see competition at its true nature. People paid to come here, so they had to take time off, and they're here to compete. So that is something that's very fulfilling. And then on like our other side of our business, me and David work a lot with people like at our gym, and because people ask us fitness questions and things along those lines, and to see those people achieve their goals, we always say like one more is a great name, but it really applies to a lot of things. It's one more step for that guy that can't get out of bed. One more burpee for that guy that's trying to prepare for the comp. One more mile for that guy getting ready to go into the military. That concept of one more, you can always get one more done. And so that's kind of always been like a thing for me.
That's awesome. So did you guys, when you bought this from Gary, was One More Athletics the original name, or did you guys pick that name?
No, it was the original name.
Okay, great. I love that. I think that's a great name.
I think it's a great concept. I mean, not everybody can, everybody doesn't have Rogue in their back pocket where they can just come set up something, and it's the communities, they want to grow and they see what they can do on the TV stuff. And I think what you guys provide is you kind of sort of bring it to them. You know, you bring them the big event style stuff. You bring them the big rig. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this thing's huge. You know, so I mean, I think that's the value that you guys do bring. And I've worked with Gary before, you know, and I think I've probably worked with you, Vince. I probably met you somewhere along the road somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what you guys do. I think a lot of people don't realize how much you guys do a lot for the Southeast and the competitions had. How big of a hit was it when COVID came around for you guys? You guys touched on it a little bit. I know you guys were trying to get like 2 comps a month. I mean, how much has that, I mean, affected what you guys did with your business model?
Well, we learned from that. I think we had 10 or 12 shows for that year.
I think we had more than that. I think we had like 16.
And
like
we
I said,
only
were
ended up
getting close.
we did 2.
Wow.
So, and those shows they're obviously rather valuable to us. Now, on the positive side, and this is something else we learned, if we ever see another pandemic coming, buy as much equipment as you can, because what we lost in comps, we made up for in sales, but then getting the stuff got really hard because they used to run 3,000 boats a month, and then they went to running 30.
Wow.
So it's really hard to get it here, you know.
Wow, how frustrating.
I can only imagine. I mean,
When did that start picking back up as far as like shipments and stuff? Or has it not yet?
It's not caught up yet because it's all still so behind. Automotive's behind. It's international ship, and it's sad because obviously now that there's this great demand for it, used to we could get stuff sent over here. You know, the shipping cost of sending it across the sea was like $1,800. Well, now it's tripled because they know there's such a demand to get stuff into the United States, so they can hike the prices up. So now we're contending with that, you know.
What do you guys forecast is going to happen with all that? Do you think it's going to even out within the next couple years, or do you think this is going to be like a thing?
I don't know. It'll be a thing as long as people pay for it. That's kind of the way it goes, you know. It's like until, you know, just like gym equipment, and we did our best not to raise any prices. After a while, we just didn't have a choice. Like it just became, you know, we were doing everything we could to keep it. You know, I'm sure you guys saw it on Facebook Marketplace. 245s are going for $300. I'm like, ooh, what kind of market are we in, you know?
Yeah, it's insane.
But we never, and this is something me and him decided to say, we're not going to jack up our prices, and we never did. The only time we increased is when it got increased on us from the distributor or from the shipper.
Right.
So we would take the percentages and plug them in and say, okay, well, this is what we got to go to continue our profit margin.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people understand that process either. They just see these jacked up prices and they're like, these guys are stealing money, you know?
Yeah, you see people raising things like $50, $100. We only raise them probably like $3, $4, maybe $5 at the highest in anything we have. So
that's awesome. These guys have integrity.
Well, I mean that's good. I mean, but I mean a lot of times too, people are like, why does it cost so much? Why does Nike cost so much when they have a shoe that's, you know, made for pennies here? And then, you know, you want to buy American, but you guys are being basically bought out of the market. So you have to go overseas to buy the stuff and bring it here. And, you know, you may be paying them pennies on the dollar to make a plate, but you don't think about, like you said, the stuff behind it, the shipping cost. You know, that stuff's got to sit on a dock until they get a full container, you know. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go behind that people don't see. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And I commend you guys for not, you know, raising your prices up as much, you know, but you also too, you guys have got to live a life too. You've got to make ends meet. You've got to keep it together. So, you know, I couldn't begrudge you guys if you raised it, if you had to.
Yeah. We just always tried to keep that same profit margin. That was kind of what we decided when all this kicked off. We saw the craziness. We said, look, we're not going to jump in this pool with everybody else. We'll just keep being us, and maybe it'll pay dividends on the back end. We'll see. But, you know.
I'm sure it will. So are people at this point, like as far as competitions, are they reaching out to you via word of mouth, or are you guys still having to reach out to competitions and offer your services?
To be honest with you, they're starting to call us more. Like I was telling you, we got that thing in Mobile, but in the past, month, I've gotten calls on 3 different ones. And so we're beginning to work on that. You know, like that one in Universal is going to be really big. That guy's got something going on there, and he's going to have a ton of athletes there. And it's his first year doing it. I don't know who he had to help him, but he's got it figured out. But we the past month, I mean, we've started to take on our fair share, and we do our part, because when we go to these competitions like in South Carolina, we just gained another competition because of Myrtle Beach, because of the Beach Town throwdown. There was a guy there. He, asked us about what was going on with the rig and stuff. We explained him our bit. He was like, "This exists." I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Can we work with you guys too?" So yeah, and we're finalizing his deal now. So,
that's awesome. So was Crescendo your first time over at Crash, or did you guys do Crucible as well?
No, that was our first time over there.
Okay. Is JR getting you guys back for Crucible this fall?
We haven't heard. We actually got in contact with him through a friend of ours that used to live and work out down here. He had moved up to that area, and JR was looking for some stuff, and he's like, "Hey, I know some guys," and so then they contacted us, and that's how we kind of met JR and was able to come up there for that one. So
awesome. Yeah, he's a good dude.
He is.
He's a real good dude. Did you guys have a good time in Greenville or I guess
we did.
Spartanburg.
Sparkle City.
Oh, you guys there?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we went to Greenville Saturday and just kind of hung out there. I kind of wish we knew that was there. There was a baseball game going on there when we went down there just to grab a bite to eat, and something else was going on there. Some streets blocked off. I was like, "Man, what's all this?"
Yeah.
So
it's a nice.
Maybe do a little
downtown.
bit more research. So yeah, it is nice down there.
Yeah, man. Awesome. So as far as David, you handle your social media. Is kind of building that social media platform, do you find that almost like a second job, or is it come natural to you?
It's still tough. There's still some things that I haven't quite figured out. I don't put a whole lot of content on there other than the closer we get to competitions or we're at a competition. That's when the content kind of comes in a little heavier. So trying to find a better balance has been difficult, especially throughout the week. Or, when we're not doing a whole lot for one more specifically. But yeah, it is definitely, someone could do it full time if your platform was big enough. That would be definitely a full time job.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For somebody, so.
For sure.
So what do you guys consider your long-term goals for One More Athletics? What do you see going on in the future?
Do you guys see you
Expanding?
branching out of the Southeast, or?
That would be ideal. We would love to grow. We've never thought about going into other countries, but definitely the United States. We kind of have this business model in our head of something we would like to do. And you don't want to use the word franchise one more, but kind of be able to teach guys like me and David. We could teach people how to do what we do and show them kind of what they would need to get started. Obviously, kind of centralize everything through us, but kind of go under that banner. And then, obviously we're in the Southeast, so we don't really need one more in the Southeast, but maybe put the next one in, the Midwest, and then put one out West and one in Texas and but they can service all the competitions near them within maybe like a 10-hour radius, 14-hour radius,
Right.
That's kind of our range that we like to stay in. But that would be an awesome plan as we try to push forward, try to get there, to get to where you could begin to get this in more than just the Southeast.
It is kind of a turnkey kind of idea. It's like, we'll send you a rig out here and we'll teach you how to do things, and, we'll service it for you and, and send back. So, I mean, it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. I hope you guys do it. I think it's going to be very successful. Do you guys have, when you go to these competitions, you said that you have workers obviously helping you set things up. Are these hired workers, or are these like people from the gym that you're going to that are helping you set things up?
So in the beginning, we tried to do that like, hey, we'll get some local help when we get there, but that just didn't ever pan out.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a group of guys we have on rotation that we take care of, and they take care of us, and they all do a phenomenal job. We even kind of started branching off into some photography now, because one of our workers is a professional photographer, and a lot of these shows don't have like professional video, and they have photography, but not like this guy does. This guy has a legit setup,
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 camera, all that good stuff. So now we're starting to kind of seeing if we can not only set up your comp, but then maybe on the back end sell you a nice promotional package for next year, because you'll have a bunch of videos and photos and things along that nature, so you can push out on social media or whatever you want to do.
Very cool. So we in upstate South Carolina, I would say we have a pretty tight knit like CrossFit community between the gyms. It's very much one of those places where, you know, I could walk into 10 different CrossFit gyms right now and I would know somebody there, they would know me, and we could throw down. When you go to a lot of these local competitions, do you see like little communities like ours popping up where there's a lot of people that know a lot of people from other gyms, or is that kind of unique to different areas?
I think it's just that community as a whole is that way. Because we'll see the same teams or same individuals at multiple competitions. So it's like they're just traveling around, hitting these, you know, I mean, shoot, we saw, it was either at JR's place or Myrtle, I can't remember which one, but there was a team there that we've seen in Pensacola. You know, so that's pretty, you know, wide range of an area, you know, hours-wise driving. I'm not sure exactly where they were from.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's seem to be some of the same people everywhere we go.
So you're at these local competitions, and you're watching these athletes. Have you ever, I guess you guys have been doing this for a few years, have you ever been at a local competition and been like, that guy could make it to the next level, or I'm going to keep my eye on that guy?
Yes, there's been times because, shoot, it was 2 years ago in the beach ball, and some dude did like 50 muscle-ups, and I was like, what a freak that guy is, you know. And I think I found out he made the regionals the next year. But yeah, you see, I mean, one guy, he hit a 505 power clean or a 505 clean at the beach ball too, because that one kind of draws a little bit heftier. That one always has games athletes in it because it has to have a purse that's pretty substantial.
Sure.
But I mean, another guy cranking off a 505 clean was something I'd never seen before.
Jeez, 505.
No.
He even got a shout out on the Open thing because he did it again during the Open, and they put him on the, you know, when they do the Open show on YouTube.
Right.
It's because he had scored the highest, and then, I mean, they had it on video, but it was just nuts.
Man,
Wow.
That's insane. Yeah, so it's interesting. You know, we have a local. Well, you were here at Crescendo, and JR puts another competition on called Crucible.
Yep.
And there were several, I would say, regionals and games athletes at that local competition. It was actually like a perfect storm because it was right at the end of 2020. A lot of competitions had been canceled, and a lot of these athletes, I think, were just kind of like biting at the bit to compete. So we had guys like Kyle Bernier was there,
Mark Hutchinson, the U.S. Army
Josh
Warrior
Miller, and then Jason Hopper was there. And then the next event Jason Hopper does is the MAC and wins it and is now like the next biggest name, which is crazy.
Jason Hopper's our local boy.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Very nice.
So he works out over at Crash and SVL. So, yeah, it's just interesting to see, like, at these local competitions. I feel like CrossFit's just expanding so much, and, you know, there's so many athletic people out there who are finding it, and you just never know, like, where these athletes are going to pop up. And it's just probably interesting being in your shoes and just, like, observing these competitions and just saying, like, wow, that guy could do something.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very, very inspiring to see it. And, you know, we're always happy to see it's fun to see those high-end athletes just to see how far the human body can go, you know, to see, you're like, how in the world is this guy still going?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, guys, you want to go to rapid-fire questions?
We can.
All right, this is the segment in the podcast where we just spit out a question and you spit an answer back real quick.
Okay.
What's your favorite color, Vince?
Orange.
Wow, that's different. I mean, obviously it's orange because of, I was about to say. All right, David, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Good
deal. What's your college football team?
Auburn.
What about you, Dave?
Florida State.
Florida State.
How could you miss it? Flag.
Are you guys going to do something this year?
Oh, no. Kind of. Our recruiting class has not been so great lately. So.
Well, y'all open up against Notre Dame, don't you?
No,
Yep.
Clemson does.
no,
no,
Clemson opens up against Georgia.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
Just
sure.
got Georgia week 1.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
That'll be a
We'll
big
see.
one. All right. Go for
So if you could go anywhere in the world, no questions asked, no limit on a credit card, spend all the money you want, where would it be?
Italy for me.
Dave?
Europe.
Well, that kind
well,
of
Europe. Where
Yeah.
in Europe? You've got
Hey,
to.
on unlimited budget, I can get on a train. and go anywhere.
That's true. Okay. Solid answer.
Solid.
Playing the
answer.
long game there.
All right, I like it. All right, David, when I was talking to you at Crescendo, I had you for a short segment on the podcast, and I asked you if you were going to jump in and do any of those events, which one would you want to do? And you said you were going to do that waterfall one with all the machines. Did you do that when you got back to the gym that following week?
I did not. I did
Come
not.
on, man.
I'm gonna have to do it now.
I thought you would grab your bro Vince and get it done.
Don't tempt us with a good time.
Yeah.
We're known to work out.
I
We're
would
known
never
to
do
work out
that.
at the comps. Like we'll do like a workout after everybody leaves because just get
Uh-huh.
out there and go ahead and get one in real quick.
Good deal. Good deal.
All right, so what's your favorite cheat meal?
Pizza.
Pizza.
That's
Yeah.
from-
I think that's mine too. You can't go wrong with it. I was just asking somebody that the other day. I was like, if you could only eat one food, it wouldn't kill you. Like obviously, if you eat pizza every single day, it'd kill you. It would be pizza for me. But that's just, there's so many varieties.
It's versatile. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
a versatile.
But it has to be a local pizza place. You know, not a.
I 100% agree. It could not be like Domino's pizza for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I
for
can't
sure.
do little squeezers?
Little squeezers. All right, are we doing Chick-fil-A or Bojangles?
Dude's got thick
Oh,
fillet.
what
on
a
his
dumb
shirt,
question!
dude.
I just
I can answer that
Yeah.
question.
our
Chick-fil-A,
listeners don't
Chick-fil-A.
see that, so
This is
Chick-fil-A.
the Chick-fil-A shirt.
Yeah, God's chicken. It's all good. It's no big deal.
If you could go back and tell yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Enjoy the process because you can't get that time back. Don't be so in a hurry.
That's good.
That is really good. That's deep. That's the deepest we've gotten all day.
It
That was
is.
deep. I'm glad we could break that barrier.
We finally did it.
All right, so let's say this. You guys are going to a local competition, and a games athlete shows up, and everybody's, the competition's over. You still got the rig up, and they want to work out. Who do you want? And they want to work out with y'all. Who do you want to work out with, and then grab pizza with afterwards?
Probably going to go old school with this one, but mine would probably still be Frawning just because I think that I know he's a legend, but I don't know. I just feel like our personalities would click. Could be
Yeah.
wrong, but
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd probably be the same. I worked out at Ben Smith's gym in Virginia when I was there, so I met he's a really down to earth guy,
Yep.
and I've actually worked out with him at one of the. They put on one for St. Jude's every year.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So before that competition or that weekend started, he got a few people together and we did a little workout. So that was pretty good.
That's awesome.
I had high hope for Ben Smith this year. I thought he would make it through maybe, but stiff competition, man. There's so many good people coming up right now. It's,
like Noah Olson's out of our state, and he's just
Yeah.
a monster.
oh yeah, yeah. So we have a couple people locally that go down to Training Think Tank and work out with him frequently, which is pretty cool. You got one last question?
I'm good.
All right.
Where can people find you on these so-called meds?
We are at One More Athletics on Instagram.
That's so
And-
funny. So David knew exactly what you're talking about. Vince has this blank face on this so.
No, I didn't quite hear him at first.
Yeah. Okay. So say that one more time. At One More Athletics, right?
Yes.
All right. Cool.
And
And
then onemoreathletics.com.
all right. Cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, really appreciate you guys taking the time out of a Thursday night to be on this with us. It was great getting to know you
It was.
guys. And I mean, from two bros to another, keep the bromance going. Keep the romance
we take
on the
trips
low.
Jesus.
You guys got to get down to Panama City. You'll have a great time.
Dude,
Our
I
beaches are really
I
pretty.
haven't been there since college, and that's pretty hazy for me. So I'll have to go back down there as an adult.
I got to
Hey,
talk
come
to
on
Jay
down. Go to
Knickerbocker.
Beach Brawl in September.
No doubt, no doubt.
I'm
All
trying to
right.
actually go to that and shoot it. I'm thinking about it.
All right.
So.
Well, be in touch, and yeah, if we can make it down there in September, I'll give you guys a shout, and we'll throw down.
Sounds good.
Guys.
Take care,
All right,
guys.
Appreciate it.